All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutation unto the hopeful elect, the 1/3 of Yasha Allah, upholding the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability. Peace and salutations. This is the brother Bakwasha, and I just want to read this quick article. These terms kind of condense what's been going on as far as government is concerned, and why even in itself the word government means mental control, to control the mind of the people. But as we've seen here in 2025, there's been more and more tech takeovers, non-government entities, but on behalf of the government. So because the government is still in authority, then these tech giants are essentially acting as hitmen for the government, because ultimately when the government is no longer valid in the eyes of the people, they're going to turn to whatever is left in power, and that's going to be these tech giants. So I just wanted to go into some of the wiles of the devil, okay? And matter of fact, let's just start there, okay? Because this is a device, okay? This is a device of the wicked, okay? And these devices have shown that they have power, okay, because they've been able to deceive the people. So the people just are in a constant state of turmoil, okay? But the elect are not blinded, okay? This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. At least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, okay? And let's grab this word here, devices.
Strong's G 3540. Naima.
Mental perception, thought, and evil purpose. That which thinks, the mind, thoughts, or purposes. So it should remind you of government. It says device, mind, and thought. So we're not ignorant of Satan's devices in which he promotes through Esau, the so-called white man. Okay, so let's go into this word here, kleptocracy or kleptocracy. Okay, it says thief. Wow, I steal. Okay, power, rule, also referred to as thievocracy, is a government whose corrupt leaders, kleptocrats, use political power to expropriate the wealth of the people and land they govern, typically by, let's see here. It says typically by embezzling or misappropriating government funds at the expense of the wider population. So in 2025, this whole Doge thing that Trump and Musk have come together to do, yeah, they're going through the books and saying, man, we're sending too much money here, we're sending too much money there, but who has the oversight on them not continuing to embezzle and misappropriate government funds as well? Because that's what these people are. Okay, these are Satan's devices. So I just want to go into it real quick. I thought it was interesting because one, I had heard of the term before, and two, it really spells out that these things have been going on for a very long time. Okay, kleptocracy. Okay, it says also known as thievocracy, refers to a form of government where leaders use their power to confiscate citizens' property for their advantage. Such governance is unfair to commoners and can lead to a political, social, economic, and financial disintegration of a nation's system. So the implosion of Babylon, aka America, is a controlled demolition. Okay, but the way in which it's deconstructed is the same way in which it was constructed. The only difference is it's going to be deconstructed through technology, but the way it was constructed was through policy. Okay? So what is kleptocracy? It says seize citizens' assets unlawfully, launder money. And let's grab a quick scripture while we're at it. This is Psalms 10:7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So let's get this word. We already know what cursing is. We already know what deceit is. But I want to get into this word here, fraud.
Strong's H, 8496. Toch. Toch. And second entry. Toch. Toch.
Injury, oppression, oppressor, fraud, deceit, deceitful. Okay? The earth is given into the hand of the what? Wicked. Okay? What would the wicked be doing? Okay? Seizing citizens' assets unlawfully. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and destroy. Okay? So, back in the article, many social evils accompany kleptocracy like corruption, illegal activities. Moreover, kleptocratic leaders utter disregard for citizens' rights, okay, like equality and freedom, eventually transformed into a dictatorship. And that's exactly what people are seeing. Okay? Like none of this Doge scenario was voted on. And going forward, don't be surprised if voting is no longer a thing. Because they don't need your vote. They're gonna do it anyway. Okay? Even though the term might sound archaic, it is prevalent in many parts of the world. Kleptocracy refers to a system of governance where political leaders use their power to confiscate citizens' properties. Such leader, like the whole fire, anytime there's a fire, earthquake, FEMA, it's a federal emergency management agency. What are they managing? The resources. Well, what are the resources? The land, the people, right? The goods. So they come in there and do a clean sweep. But what most people fail to connect is the fact that they are the ones that actually started the fires. They are the ones that started the hurricanes or the the weather modification devices, man. See, when you know that the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked, when wickedness happens, it's not a question of a natural disaster. No. Okay, just like more and more people are finding out about the VID, okay, with the code, right? People are now realizing that was manufactured, okay, and it's just another form, okay, of them confiscating property, okay. Under his mouth, let's read it again. His mouth is full of cursing, deceit, and fraud. Okay? Oppression. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So the words that he speaks, okay, any political leader, as scripture says, never trust thine enemy, man. Okay? And there's no reason to trust any of these government bodies and entities, especially if they're not even involved in the government, but working as a almost like a third party, okay, to audit the governing system of America, which is already corrupt. So scripture said, who can bring a clean thing from out of an unclean thing? Let's grab that real quick. This is Job 14:4, 144. Call Allah like Yahweh Shemi Awashai. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. So the corruption of this government is already set. So what, you're gonna make it better? All of a sudden? 300 plus years of corrupt policies, and then in one fell swoop, right? Now technology is gonna go through the back doors and reallocate all these funds. No, it's still a kleptocracy. All right. So, such leaders view their country and subjects as cash cows from which they can benefit. Kleptocratic governments encompass versions of dictatorships, autocracies, plutocracies, and oligarchies. It can adversely affect a country, leading to the collapse of all systems and eventual demise of a nation in extreme cases. And that's exactly what's coming to Babylon. Okay? They're just ushering it in. They're expediting it. Okay? Because all of this is in conjunction with the WEF. Okay? To make America, quote unquote, great again. That means that it now will be merged with the global systems. Okay? In which they're parlaying the dollar as the world's currency still being supreme, but they're just going to run the technology. Okay, so USD, although it's just going to be a digital form of a dollar, it's still going to be the world's currency. So when universal basic income kicks in, America is going to be the forerunner of it. Okay, because they're going to be tied into the global system. They're gonna spearhead it through the implosion of America. Okay? It says, in the modern context, kleptocracy countries have high levels of corruption and absolute government control, that political leaders will be above the law. And so there's no better scenario than Epstein or any of these JOOSs, right? That get away with all of these crimes. You know, especially, you know, in the church, it sounds like Vatican, right? Year after year after year, you know, more and more molestation, you know, fondling, groping, all of that happens. Why? Because they're not even involved in any law system. Okay, so just showing you how, man. This whole place is wicked, but hey, once again, it's about to be judged too. So this is for the word here. Let me bring this back. I believe this is for deceit. Matter of fact, let me go back. Yep, Khan. This is Psalms 140 and verse 2. Let's start at verse 1. Deliver me, O Lord, deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. Okay, let's grab this word here for mischiefs.
Strong's H 7451. Ra. And second entry, Ra. And third entry, Ra'ah.
Bad, evil, ethically, okay? Deeds, actions, all right? Sorrow, trouble, okay? It says, which imagine evil in their hearts. To take someone's assets unlawfully, to launder money, reminds me of a scenario called the Indian Removal Act. It says the Indian removal was a policy of the United States government that forced Native Americans from their homelands in the eastern United States to relocate west of the Mississippi River. The policy was in effect from 1830 to 1847. Let's jump down and read what happened. Matter of fact, let's read. Yep, it says how it happened. President Andrew Jackson signed the act into law May 28, 1830. The act allowed the president to negotiate treaties with tribes to exchange their land. Kleptocracy seize citizens' assets unlawfully. All right. The act allowed the president to negotiate treaties with tribes to exchange their land for land west of the Mississippi. The government used threats, fraud, intimidation, and violence to force tribes to sign treaties. Psalms 140 and 2. Start at 1. Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs, evil in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. Okay? War is just not in the physical. War is in the subliminal, right? The non-aggressive, the policy, right? Because that's what happened. It says the government used threats, fraud, intimidation. Intimidation and fraud are not violent, they're aggressive. Okay? The fraud part is changing up things and exploiting people, their ignorance. Okay? It says in violence, now that in itself is physical. Okay? And violence to force tribes to sign treaties. Many tribes resisted the removal policy. The Cherokee were forcibly removed in 1838 and 1839, a march that became known as the Trail of Tears. Okay? And so once again, the only difference here is in these examples, these people that are corrupt, okay, are seizing the lands that people live on all over again. Okay? Because one, it was already stolen from Gad and Reuben. And then they came over here, started a corporation, gave lands, okay, to their people, right? The Edomites, right? To where they could thrive and prosper. But now all of that is being sequestered or I like the word pirated, right? It's being confiscated through what people believe is a government system that's supposed to be supporting them. And it's not. And it never will. And it never has. Okay? Because it's a wicked system ran by wicked people. Let's we'll hit this we need to hit this and both of this real quick. Okay, let's bring this out. Yeah, this is talking about basically our people, man. They don't want to hear what the Lord has to say. But that's why they're going to get caught up in all of this fraud too. Let's just bring out verse 4. It says, this is Isaiah 59 and 4. None calleth for justice, nor any pleaded for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. Okay? So once again, that mischief, that iniquity, right? That's what 2/3 of our people are doing when they follow, these government entities and support them. Voting, thinking that every vote counts. Counts for what? None of these votes count. Okay? This is Proverbs 24 and 1. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. For their heart studieth destruction. Come on, man. And their lips talk of mischief. Okay? Their heart studieth destruction. Let's grab this word here for mischief. Amal.
Strong's H 5999. Amal.
Study. And it says, what does it say here? Oh, for their heart studied destruction, and their lips talk of labor. Okay, to do what? To keep the people on a hamster wheel, and while the people are trying to pay for $100 eggs, they're essentially taking over their lands. They're going to work on how to take over the lands. That's why scripture says their sleep is taken away unless they've done mischief. Okay, so that's what this is all about. Let's read let's read a little bit of this and then we'll wrap up. Kleptocracy explained. It says kleptocracy etymologically means to steal. Okay, once again, when it comes to thievery, when it comes to theft, when it comes to fraud, no one does it better. Okay, the Esau, the so-called white man. It says the roots of the word can be traced to the Greek language. Since the 1960s, there have been many kleptocratic governments worldwide. This is probably due to major political and economic transformations in the aftermath of 2 world wars, accompanied by falling colonialism. But at present, too, there are some countries where this is followed. Mostly kleptocratic governments are associated with developing and least developed nations, right? Because they prey on the poor. Okay, especially in some African countries, corruption is extremely high, and the people do not receive adequate legal representation, resulting in many illegal activities occurring on the government's behalf, right? Because they buy people out, right? Because they know that people can be bought, cheap. Like the Chief Apostle Tahar said a long time ago, you can buy a nigga cheap, but you can buy everybody else cheap as well. Okay, especially in some African countries, corruption is okay. Yeah, read that. So what exactly happens in kleptocracies? Government seize private property. People do not get adequate legal representation, and hence no justice. Third, the leaders launder money into foreign countries and maintain assets abroad. There will not be any economic developments, probably because leaders are too busy spending public money on themselves. Therefore, major economic indicators like literacy, employment, GDP, and growth rates will be unfavorable, right? So essentially, they, as scripture says, they covered fields and they take them by violence. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Yep, okay. Let's read this real quick. Proverbs 6 and 18. Let's start at 6 and 16. These 6 things doeth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, an heart that deviseth wicked imaginations. Okay? Because they study how to destroy things. And the people being one of them. Okay, this is a big science experiment for Esau. Okay, the guinea pigs. You think Esau is going in and doing all of this research on guinea pigs and animals, and he's not going to do the same thing on people? A heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift into running into mischief. Okay, because even that COV ID, right? That was a big experiment. Okay, and all of Esau's, sorcerers and magicians, right? They just collected all that data for another run at it. Okay, that's them devising wicked imaginations. But the hopefully elect, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Okay, we know this whole thing is a heist. Okay, let's see if we can grab that word here. This is a heist. Okay.
Heist.
Robbery. Okay. We just talked about thievery, right? A heist. To commit armed robbery. And see, the way in which Esau commits heist is through his policy, through his words, smooth words. Okay. That's those imaginations. Okay. So yeah, let's grab that. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man in his heritage. Okay. Micah 2 and 2 is what kleptocracy really is. So let's read this first example and then we'll wrap up. It says, let's look at some examples of kleptocratic governments. Country Q belongs to the least developed countries. The government confiscated the properties of the citizens and allowed multinational companies, MNCs, to set up factories on people's lands. The government even displaced villages in areas closer to rivers and lakes, i.e. Indian Removal Act. As a result, people lost their agricultural lands. Agriculture was the primary income for the country. Indian removal. Though some people were employed in the factories, the wages were too low for families to sustain, i.e. private or military industrial complex. The government took bribes from MNCs and thus was irresponsive to the needs of the people, remuneration, environmental concerns, scarcity of food and water. The leaders spent most of their time on vacations outside the country and bought assets in foreign countries, used the money they received from the MNCs. And this is all going to be through tech. Everything that we're reading right now is going to be through tech. That's why you got the tech president, okay, Elon Musk. Says the economy was stagnant, and though companies built factories, none of the activities helped the 20 million population. The literacy and employment rate was in the single digits. Further, infant mortality was rising and life expectancy was falling. So, like I said, I just wanted to go into the article because it really was interesting to me to see the term, but also to see how it's been going on for some time. Okay. And that's why this place is going to be destroyed. One of many. Okay. Let's bring out this last precept. This is James chapter 5, verse 4. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you, kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them have reaped and entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Okay? But the point being here is, which is of you kept back by fraud. Okay? Because when you have a government system that seizes assets unlawfully, everything that you try to create to sustain yourself, okay, you're on someone else's land, using someone else's property. Okay, none of these things people own. Okay, but why is this so important? Because this whole place is built off of fraud. Okay, nothing's real, nothing's true, nothing's honest, nothing is upright. Okay, and that's the reason why Sodom and Gomorrah and all the other countries that Yahweh Shemi and cities, okay, that have been destroyed and will be destroyed are going to be destroyed. Okay? because there's no righteousness here. And all of these government forms, whatever they're looking to become, are all against righteousness, all against Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So I just wanted to go into that real quick, Lord will. It was edifying for the elect. And until next time, shalom.